we're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker.
This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to 0. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to 0. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty...
We recognize different ages for different purposes. We recognize 18 for the draft. We recognize 16 for driving in some states. We recognize 21 for drinking. So we recognize different ages for different purposes. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Could I have a second to engage that?
Certainly. I'll yield to the gentleman from Kentucky.
Would the chairman join me in co-sponsoring a bill to raise the draft age to 21?
No.
But the chairman feels that their brains aren't fully formed at 18, 19, and 20.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa.
Of Putin's kleptocracy, yeah.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. The idea that Los Angeles and what am I doing here? For 2 reasons. One, we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way. But the nature, not a solid meeting with they make a very good point. Here's the deal. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers.
We want to expand pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds, millions of pre-K students.
Let's be clear. I hear it all the time. Cumulative deficit, I can play for the programs many times.
And I'm just sick of seeing him. I know he says he's going to retire. Someone needs to grab that little elf and chuck him across the Potomac.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
Welcome back to another night of Sick with Koolfrogg. Oh my freaking Lord, dude.
Holy crap, your mic is off the charts.
Yeah, is it? Okay, hold on.
Dang. Hello, one and all. Hello, 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 hello. Your Super V, Melissa, JMK, Short Order Cook, hello, 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 Ishkade, hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? There's Susie, hello, hello, hello.
Oh, why did it do that?
Huh?
Am I there?
Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Perhaps.
Did I come in clearly? Yeah, this microphone, it just decided to become half unplugged or whatever. So you have to unplug it, let it reset itself, and plug it back in. Oh. So as far as that goes, there you go. That's good way to boomer right straight through the beginning of this. So I kind of heard you saying hi to a couple people. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Let's see here. Who did you say? Shorter to cook? Of course, Jess is here. Wonderful. Maniac
Hello,
Man.
Ann Kirk. Yes,
Ann Kirk.
there's Ann.
Susie.
Ann.
James K. Barbara
Athena.
Vance. Tyler's in the house.
Veronica. Hello.
Susie.
Sparkles.
Susie.
It's Sparkles.
Melissa Jane. Good to see you. Glad you're here.
Sparkles. Oh, my Sparkles.
Madcore Mofo in the house.
Oh,
Yo, it's Jimmy YouTube. Jimmy YouTube, didn't I send you a link? I think he said that if he was awake that he would draw something for us. Let's see if we can't get him to come in here. You interested? Let's see how interested he'll be. Let's see. Watching chat for me. I always have a problem finding him every single time. It's like there wasn't so many people that were texting and messaging between.
He says no link.
No link. Okay. Sounds good, brother. He did his own. As far as that goes. I believe he had just put something else out today. I think everybody should make sure they go and check out Jimmy YouTube. He's actually got some good stuff. He actually watched him actually put a premiere up on the Michael Malloy show, so it was pretty interesting. Oops. That being said, let's do the first article first. Where do we want to go? What should we do here? Do you want to do the Florida Republicans proposal?
We can do it however the order you want to do it.
Okay, we'll do that one first. After that long rant that we'll get off of this, hopefully, we'll play a fun little clip for everybody. I found today. I thought it was interesting. So let's see. It says Florida Republicans proposed labeling WHO terrorist group.
Who?
The World Health Organization is a terrorist group.
Oh, that?
Which uses its international pandemic treaty to override nation states during health crises.
Who done it?
Ooh, who?
Who?
I have no clue who. Is that the one that's on first base?
Huh?
Who's on first base? What's on second? Oh, okay.
I'm not understanding the
You've never heard that?
The cultural lingo.
Oh. Okay. I bet there's a lot of people that have heard of that. So anyway, this is back in May, the Biden administration worked with WHO and attempted to amend a treaty granting WHO the power
not Doctor Who
of global martial law
even though
and
that guy
the
would like
ability to force mass lockdowns and vaccinations in the case of future pandemics. Regarding WEF, World Economic Forum, they're much like a secular end times cult and believe the planet can't sustain the human population. Oh, I didn't turn on my camera. Here you go. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you?
They're not necessarily a priority of the party until the party chooses to make them a priority. It's very disturbing to actually think what they're actually able to do without even, they can just do whatever they want. Like Klaus Schwab prays about penetrating governments with graduates of his young global leaders. So he's going to go around and he's going to implement people And where? In top government? So then they all listen to anybody that comes out of the WEF, like we went through last week, whatever, when we seen that. What was that? What was the lady's name from the UK? Liz Truss. She come through, and she was actually part of the World Economic Forum. It's really something really interesting. If you're not paying attention to what's actually happening in this world and what kind of stories are out there, you might be really interested in. This seriously come out of the counter signal, and it sounds very disturbing. The FBI's action on January 6th protests is all actions during the whole Trump administration was demonstrated the organization of political arm, weaponized against American citizens. It just seriously, they're turning it into a relief for everybody around the world, and they can institute martial law whenever they want. I don't want them instituting martial law.
Oh, you have tadpole issues.
They like to just come walking in the room like it's nothing, like it's fine. It's always fun. So, as far as that goes, didn't you have any thoughts about this? What are you with me?
Well, this is that thing that we talked about several weeks ago now, when they were in Switzerland, where they were having the World Economic Forum meeting. Well, actually, not weeks, months. And in the same week, they were doing this WHO treaty. And this WHO treaty, of course, would allow for the WHO to announce, pandemics and other different things of that nature, and public health emergencies, so forth and so on. Actually, it wasn't even necessarily pandemics. It was, the language was public health emergency. And what they wanted to do was get everybody to sign on to this WHO treaty to try to take away, of course, the right of sovereignty of nations, to give it to the UN and the World Economic Forum people through a quote-unquote public health emergency. And it would allow them to do lockdowns and all the rest of it. And they would mandate it from the top, and then everybody would have to follow suit. So it's basically like signing on to it. It's a UN treaty. The World Health Organization is from the UN. And so it would be like signing on to a UN treaty. And it would be a sort of step towards globalizing and global government type stuff. So, so these people pushing back on it at the local level is the thing to do. That's what we were telling everybody to do at the time, is whenever this was going around, is for your states and your local leaders to wake up to this and pass laws against it, so they can't do it, so that can't be enacted. Because it's only, again, it's not constitutional. The only way that it can be done is if everybody just follows along with it. And so if you realize what it is, and if you realize what's going on, and everybody else does, then they can't do anything. If you pass laws against it in your state and in your locality, they can't do anything against it. So these people, this is a Republican executive committee. So that's not the legislature, but it could potentially go up through legislation in Florida as a result of that, because the executive committee in the county is the one that is, has precinct committeemen and so forth, and they get together and have a committee, and they're the ones that help to decide from the ground up Republican nominees for office. And so you could see that go up the chain from there. So there you go.
Very interesting, and where the thought chain can actually go on some of this. So I know that you had said something that you kind of, because we didn't do a 9/11 show like we were going to, it just didn't work out for us. We didn't have ourselves set up correctly for it. There's other issues that went on. Did you want to try covering on some of that, or you have the information on that that you prefer to cover? Because that was your thought. We're going to wing it right here, just for you. If you like what we're doing, even if you don't, I'll give you a couple links here. You go and follow them, check them out. Hit up that Buy Me a Coffee /Koolfrogg. Donate to me. I like to buy me a coffee. And I live in the cool state of South Dakota that has no income tax. It's one of the fun ones. More people come in the room. Nico. Shorter cooks back still. Momentum Mori. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Matthew. You're up to 35. So let's see here. Let's do, if we don't get hit for one, it seems that everything's working out. I think I don't, I don't have my studio open. That's my problem.
There's some interviews there is an interview that Rudy Giuliani did with Sebastian Gorka that he's going to be playing throughout the week on his show, Sebastian Gorka's show. And he goes over the different things pertaining to 9/11. I don't know if we could replay that kind of a thing or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. So while you're thinking about that, I'll just move on to a different article and then we can actually try going back to it. So then this one here, we actually covered this particular subject back when it was happening. I remember the 700 Mayo Clinic staffers that were actually let go, all fired right out before refusing certain jabbies and not care. It really it was very jarring to the state of Minnesota at the time, and of course I was living out of the state of Minnesota at the time, so we all kind of felt the hit. That was kind of another reason for actually leaving that state. And there's just so many things that go along with these types of things, like jabby stabbies. Speaking of jabby stabbies, I bet if you hit up one of those links down below, I think I put it in this reel, didn't I? Put up AmericaShirts.com.
Ooh, yeah.
There it is. There's the promo code Koolfrogg. You go hit that promo code up.
And you save 15%. Anything.
Got some fun shirts there. You awake?
Jimmy YouTube says, yo, send out the link, Doge. I didn't stay up for nothing here.
Oh.
That's exactly how he said it too, by the way. I totally didn't fudge around with it.
Did we misunderstand the last comment then in there? Sorry, man. We'll get you in here. I was having some computer issues, so certain screens are closed. Let me get to that.
When will they be open? Tomorrow at 9? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Sorry, we're closed.
We need to talk to each other more. I always have such a problem.
We're closed on Sundays. But it's Monday.
There he is. Yeah, well, we're just going to boomer through it, and there we'll send a link to him. Here you go. Can you come draw a picture for us? The Hill reported that 70% of the nurses said that the shortage of healthcare workers had only gotten worse since the pandemic. The shortage was so horrible that the nurses that remained were being given tasks to which they had no skill set or training. So when you get told that you have to go take care of something that you have no clue what you're doing, that sounds dangerous. So as far as that goes, it seems as though they're going to go out and they're actually going to do a march. I put that up right next to it.
Howdy, you couple of boomers.
Of course. What's up, Jimmy?
My goodness. I say no link, like, I didn't get a link.
Oh,
and
I see. I took
you
it the
guys
other way.
like, okay, no Jimmy tonight. Even though he's up.
Oh, you
way
should have
past
shot me a
his
DM.
bedtime.
I would have been like, yeah, I'm having computer issues. So for whatever reason, let's see if we can't step this up a little bit here.
Yeah, let's get it.
Seems
kicking.
as everybody
How's
still wants
everybody
to
doing?
stick around. I'm glad to see you all here. If you hadn't already, hit that like button. Share it out to your friends. Let them know where you're a friend. Say, hey, there's enough space here still where the scroll isn't so fast. You can actually still hold the conversation.
Yes. For now.
How about this one? We'll stop sharing the nurses because apparently you don't want to have anything to say about that.
Oh, I like nurses.
I bet you do. I bet you like a lot of nurses.
Oh yeah, I've liked a lot of nurses.
All at the same time.
Oh dear.
What do you got here?
I got black block for black. No, I'm just kidding. This is an interview on. This isn't his radio. This is his TV show from Newsmax. He talks to Rudy, and he talks to the former New York Police Commissioner about the 9/11 attacks because they were both serving at that time, and so they're going to talk about the different things about the 9/11 attacks, just to refresh our memories and let us remember some of the things of what went on. Whoops.
About September the 11th, the images, the firemen, the firefighters of police.
Again, this is from Sebastian Gorka's show from Newsmax. There's
put up
normally a little
something
icon
today
over
that
here.
would be
The
nice
images.
in remembering 9/11.
Oh, what'd you put?
Oh, you didn't see it yet? Frogman, do you think Shirts would like that?
What's that?
That thing I put up today about 9/11?
Where's you?
Oh, yeah. He might actually like that.
You have my express permission to put that on your channel if you'd like to.
What are we talking about?
It's a little meme I made.
Okay.
It's a little,
What are you talking about?
We'll get there. We'll totally get there.
Good.
Oops.
Sounds good.
Oops.
Is this in
Is this-
memes?
No, it's
you
on
go.
my YouTube channel. I just threw it on it.
Oh.
I was feeling
Oh.
naughty with the video editor, so I kind
Oh,
of went
you were
at it.
feeling naughty, were you?
I was feeling a little naughty.
Yeah, you can put that up. You can put that up anytime you want. You want to share that?
Yeah, sure. We'll do. I'll go find it.
Drawing Pikachu.
That was later.
So how long is
Oh.
this video that you want to watch here? What is this?
It's 24 seconds.
No, I'm talking AmericaShirts. What is this?
Oh.
How
Oh,
long
it's
is
about
this?
6 minutes, or is it 8 minutes? It's something like that.
Okay.
Of a segment. Oh, okay. I was just looking at that little clip there. Okay, let's continue to play with this, and we'll see what else happens.
Is the firemen, the firefighters, the police officers at
Meme
Ground
about 9/11?
Zero, the
No.
people falling from the sky.
Wait, who?
Barbara Van says meme about 9/11. Really? Well, I mean,
Yes, I'm classy like that.
Well, it's not in that way that you're thinking, Barbara. It's about a certain ruling class individuals pertaining to certain things of this nature. It's not about like the incident itself, rather certain individuals perhaps allowing things maybe to lead up to it, sort of implying that kind of thing. So, anywho's, let's continue with this here to start with, and then if we talk about other things of that nature, or sort of reference that very broadly, of course, because this is YouTube. Perhaps we'll get over into that area. But let's start with this, just generally, holistically here about September the 11th, 2001. So let's
things that are indelible about September the 11th, the images, the firemen, the firefighters, the police officers at Ground Zero, the people falling from the skyscrapers. Then there are the sounds, the air traffic controllers, the phone calls from the hijacked planes. But then there are individuals, there are leaders, icons of that era. One of them brought New York back from the brink. Here's a reminder.
We're going to take airplanes when we're supposed to for business or pleasure. We're going to go to public events, and we're going to do the things that we normally would do. The best way to get your children to stop being afraid is to stop being afraid yourself.
Conspiracy Music says, did they ever find the trillions of dollars that went missing at 9/10? I don't know. Did they?
Well, we won't go there just yet. We won't get into that just yet. Let's just go over the whole thing and sort of have a little bit of a remembrance of this day and what happened, and then we'll get into other things if we so wish. So let's continue.
An incredible message, of course. You know who that is. We call him America's Mayor today, and we are honored on this, the anniversary of September 11th, to be joined by Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
And by the way, can I just say really quickly, that I'm thinking about it since he brought it up, folks, I understand the things surrounding this, but let us be classy and let us be reverent and respectful for the fallen of this day before we get into the other different things, because I see a lot of people over the interwebs that are talking about different things of this nature, and it's not a very good thing. I mean, even like Barbara there was kind of getting up in arms about like, it's there's a meme about this or whatever. It's like, well, I mean, we need to pay respect to what happened and the people that were lost and so forth. I think. Okay. Anyway, I don't know why that was brought up, but whatever. But
good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
But I think that we need to be a little more classy. And again, I understand. I see in the chat somebody's saying like, it's a day afterwards, and I get that. But well, also there's 9/12. The day after. It was
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you watch it and you pay attention to what happens on 9/12.
Yeah. So, but I think we need to be respectful to the fallen, and I think we need to respect the day. And I noticed again, like I said yesterday, there was a lot of tasteless takes, in my opinion. People going too far with the, well, not necessarily too far, but they're not respecting the day, and they're not respecting the people, and they're not respecting that. They're just going right full blown into like, oh, well, this happened with this, and this was this, and this person here, and whatever. And it's like, okay, maybe we'll get there. Like, can we be classy for like a couple of seconds and like pay respects to people? I mean, because people did die. There was, horrendous death that day. There was horrendous, everything that happened with that day, and day after day for the entire week. People were going through the rubble, trying to find, other people to see if they survived or not. Most of them didn't, and it was just this horrific tragedy, this horrific thing. And I mean, it's just horrendous. And as a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do one other thing before I go on to this, because I just remembered this. Let me do this here. You can chatter for a second, I guess. It's going to take me a second.
Jimmy, I'll give you the 24 seconds for him to be able to do that.
Woo! Let's go. 24 seconds, baby.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This is actually because and I really love Seb Gorka for this because he's really been good on this here. Let me show this here, and then we'll get back.
That's fine. Hold on. We're gonna do this 24 seconds for Jimmy.
Yeah, you'll love this shirt.
Show me your video quick.
Sure. Let me know if you can hear it right away.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
Who's that Pokemon?
I believe we need to encourage personal responsibility so people are accountable for their actions. People are accountable for their actions. People are accountable for their actions.
I told President Obama.
Oh, God.
Oh, my Lord.
Right.
Oh, I did not have sexual relations with a woman. Get the hell off my screen. Anywho's, but hey, yeah, there's.
Oh, that's horrible. So here you go.
I'm gonna play this little bit. He goes over.
Here, well, okay.
He's reading off a tweet thread that he found. I couldn't find this tweet thread. If I could, I'd bring it up. But he reads it off, and it's very moving, and it's very real of what happened. So I'm just gonna play this through. This is like maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. Yada yada yada. There we go.
American Airlines emergency line, please state your emergency.
Hey, this is Nitty, American Airlines calling. I am monitoring a call in which Flight 11, the flight attendant is advised.
And again, this is from Sebastian Gorka, America First, Salem News Channel, Salem Radio Network, all of that kind of stuff. That's where this comes from.
Advising our reps that the pilot, everyone's been stabbed.
Nobody move. Everything will be okay. If you try to make any move, you'll injure yourself and the airplane. Just stay quiet. Nobody move, please. We are going back to the airport. Don't try to make any stupid moves.
Hey, can you look out your window right now? Yeah. Can you see a guy at about 4,000 feet, about 5 east of the airport right now? Looks like he's...
Yeah, I see him.
You see a guy, look, is he descending for the building also?
He's descending really quick, too, yeah.
Well, that's
2,500 feet now. He just chopped 800 feet in like one sweep.
That's another situation. What kind of airplane is that? Can you guys tell?
I don't know. I'll read it out in a minute. Another one just hit the building.
Wow. Wow.
Another one hit it hard. Another one just hit the World Trade. United 1523, did you hear your company, did you hear some interference on the frequency here a couple of minutes ago, screaming?
Yes, I did, 797, and we couldn't tell what it was either.
They got the piece down. Keep remaining steady. We have the ball board. So,
I also want to give you heads up, Washington.
Go ahead.
United 93. Have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land? Because we have confirmation.
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yes,
Down?
somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
That is covered by the White House, it's now near the Pentagon. I don't know where the hell they're getting their info. I said Washington has no clue when I called Washington about it. They didn't know what the hell was going on.
He's down. He's not landed. That plane is down. That was air traffic control audio from 21 years ago yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. We didn't broadcast. I spent the weekend with members of the FDNY.
Let me skip it.
John Plant. But I found this set of messages. It's called a tweet thread. Tweets are very small, and you can stitch numerous of them together for a longer message. And I want to read it to you. Because we look at 9/11 as a historic event, but rarely at the individual stories, the individual experiences, which in many cases are misrepresented. I learned many things about how Father Michael Judge, chaplain for the NYPD, actually died, for the FDNY, actually died on that date, it's not as you have been told. So I want to share with you this one individual's story of 9/11. It's anonymous. He's a former police officer. And it was posted by Buck Graver on Twitter, a friend of this individual. A good friend shared his personal account of 9/11 with me last year. He wants no recognition, just that the story be remembered. Thank you, brother. 20 years have come and gone, and I still can't verbally tell the story. Like many, I watched it unfold on television. I had a house full of people as everyone rallied to my home. It was the safest place they knew. The next day, on the night of the 12th, my old partner and myself decided to leave for New York City. We were both working undercover at the time in Cleveland. Our side hustle and cover for our police work was that we were scrappers, scrap metal merchants. We chopped big stuff. We loaded our torches and gear. We hit the city and found that it was locked down. Our police credentials and badges got us an escort in. We spent the next 2 weeks on the pile. That's ground zero. The FDNY, the police, as I came to know, called it the pile, the rubble. No one talks about the smell. By day 3, the bodies were starting to rot. 3,000 bodies condensed into a couple of blocks. No one talks about the sirens pulling us off the pile because of building collapse danger. People working, trying to save people until they collapsed. Half of the EMSs there, half of their job was pulling us off the pile because we just dropped. A good set of boots might last us a day. Me and Dave cut clown shoes out of scrap so that we could walk on the pile. End of the second day, we just had to take 5. A radio car, a police car, took us to a firehouse that lost both of its crews, the engine and the truck. No one talks about the faces of the families at the barricades, holding pictures and begging with their eyes. Did you find them? No one talks about the dust and the bodies we breathed in for days. I collapsed in the street when we got there. The crowd picked me up and carried me in. They all knew where we had been. Families of the fallen inside cleaned us up, fed us, showered us, gave us fresh clothes, smokes, boots, a bed to sleep in. Every day for 3 days, that was our life. 4 hours, rest, and then back at it. Everybody would just stare at us, wanting to ask, did you find anyone? Did you find my family? Covered in gray crap, stinking of death. The NYPD and FDNY were absolute heroes. People have forgotten that. To the best of my knowledge, not one turned away that day. Not one. After days, there was no difference. We would watch them come back, shift after shift. The pile of service vehicles mangled and destroyed. What really hit me was when we would find a first responder. Our last acts were to try to shield the ones they cared, shield their bodies from anyone who would see them. No greater love. End of message.
So that's how real that was. And that's how bad it was. In less than a day, New York City was turned into a war zone. And all of these firemen and police would just jump on this and go at it. And it's like, I mean, these people aren't soldiers, right? Like, but this is a literal war. I mean, this is mass death. I mean, we're talking a giant, I mean, he's literally in this tweet thread talking about, he says, like, nobody really thought about, like, they're breathing in the bodies of the dead, of the fallen, of
and the
police,
criminals
the firemen,
responsible
and
walk
all
away
of that.
Completely free of charge, right?
Well, we'll get to that. But just for the realization of how real this was and how horrific this was. So, yeah, Alana, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh, yeah.
I've watched the news a lot back then.
Scot-free.
And I watched all the footage from all these different places, all these different articles for the longest time on it, because I thought it was so interesting. And I kept on overlooking things. And those first couple that actually went out, when I was actually, seriously, I remember sitting there, getting ready for a doctor's appointment at the time. Just so happened to run into it, and you're like, "What in the world is going on?" Because that's what's on in that waiting room. You just kind of like, when you hear that second one hit, you're like, "Wait a minute here, that wasn't an accident. No way that was an accident. Something there's violence that was actually spewed into our land, and it's disgusting.
I mean,
People shouldn't do that kind of shit. It was like performing war. The way I looked at it. But
yep, Barbara.
It's amazing how many of these ran in.
And they ring the bells every year in New York and in Pennsylvania and in at the Pentagon for the fallen. And again, we're talking people, innocent people, and we're talking firemen and policemen as well that, got affected by that as they were trying to save people, and then the building would collapse more or something else would happen. And so, I mean, you heard him talk about that there. So let's talk to Rudy Giuliani here for a couple of minutes. He was the mayor at the time. And let's see what he has to say about his remembering of that fateful, terrible day. So I have that thrown up. Here we go.
And the 40th commissioner of the New York Police Department, Bernard Kerrick. Gentlemen, welcome
and
to
him
the
too.
Reality Check.
Thank you for having us, Sebastian.
Rudy, let's start with you. Will you give us a sense, will you take us back in time, 21 years, and tell us what was the spirit of New York after the attack? Were people demoralized? What was the sense of the city?
I think the most important thing, Sebastian, is the spirit of the city going into the attack. So the city was on a high. It had gone through a massive, completely unexpected reduction in crime. We've had crime for 27 years. Just to give you an example, and Bernie knows this even better than I do, we used to average 2,000 murders a year under my Democratic predecessor. By the time I was finished, we were down to 600, heading for 500. We had reduced crime between 65 and 70%. Now, that's unheard of in the history of the United States. No one's ever done that before. No one's ever done that since. The city, as a result of that, was on a high. It tripled our economy. We gained about 300,000 more people. We were working with a surplus rather than our usual bankruptcy that we're dealing with. We had unemployment cut in half, and we had taken, believe it or not, 500,000 people off welfare and put them to work under the Welfare to Work program, which has now been abandoned by the socialists in Washington.
Okay, go on. Let's get to that.
Went into that situation a very.
You're the one that has control.
People thought that spirit came back.
Oh yeah,
bigger.
yeah. I'm fast forward.
I mean, compared to now, the spirit of the city, the day
we'll manage Ground Zero. What was the IPD of losing all those officers on the day and then having to police the city to manage Ground Zero? What was the effect on the department?
Listen, the effect was initially it was stunning, but I want to remind your viewers, Sebastian, on the morning and in the aftermath of the attack on September 11th, the New York City Police Department, the Fire Department, and the Port Authority Police, under the mayor's direction, effected the greatest rescue mission in the history of this country. They took 20 to 25,000 people out of those buildings in the immediate surrounding area, and then they evacuated more than 1 million people. And think about that for a second. More than 1 million people out of southern Manhattan into the 4 boroughs and into New Jersey, getting them away from the danger zone. So, you know, as it was a dark day for New York City, a dark day for this country, it was also one of the proudest days for the men and women of the first responders for New York City.
And could you imagine, like, all these people, like, they have to try and move all these people
because they achieved
out of the city and off to someplace,
something that no one in the
to
history
other
of this
side.
country has ever done prior and done since.
Well, thank you for putting that into perspective. Let's move the clock forward to where we are today. We see shocking figures, not just in New York, not just regarding.
Okay, and that's probably it with that. I thought Rudy was gonna go over that a little more, but police commissioner, I guess, did that. But you get the picture, right? You get the picture. You get what went on with that. I think everybody remembers everything to do with that. You know. So with that, there's been a couple of comments that I've been looking at. Barbara Vance's one here at 12:44 stands out to me. Biden was told not to come to the memorial unless he released the classified papers. He promised to release them, and we still have nothing. And those papers about the background of the attacks are still held, and we don't know all of the ins and outs. We don't know everything. We know a decent amount, but we don't know everything officially. And for the people who lost family and friends and such at that time, I mean, this must grieve them and this must anger them that they still don't know everything about what went on. So, with that respect now given to the day and what happened and the people that had perished in this horrible tragedy that took place, now we can look at we can think about, you know, some of the background of, you know, how did that happen? How did we get here? A little bit, you know, because we're on YouTube, of course. But you know, if anybody,
there's quite a bit of information that's out there. It's very interesting when you look it up and you actually try finding videos and things that are, you know, pertaining to the incident, and it's very disturbing. I totally remember it, but.
And we have information.
Horrible day for everybody because everybody had something going on that was jolted by such a act of terrorism.
Yeah. And of course, because of this, and because of what happened, and again, we can talk about this now. I feel like, we can talk about this a little bit more now because we've given respect now. The security state has taken that horrible thing that has happened, and again, the background of that, a lot of us I see in the chat kind of are talking about the security state and the deep state peoples totally utilized this to take more power and more control for themselves and institute, well, as I say, a national security state where there's like this sort of perpetual state of emergency. There's the Department of Homeland Security that's developed as a result of this and so forth. You saw Jimmy's little clip there earlier,
Right.
People need to be held accountable for their actions, Doug.
I mean, hey. And then you also have, there was a chat in here. Where is the chat here? About the monies, right? Who was that? Was that Conspiracy Music? Threw that up there? About the monies, right? Like, we don't know where the monies went. Yeah, there we go.
Conspiracy Music put it up there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there was, how many days before, I forget, he said that there was a bunch of money that was gone from the Pentagon. Weird. We also know that the Saudis have something to do with some of these individuals that came into the United States to do this. To what extent they were involved, we don't exactly know officially. Some speculate and so forth, but we don't know, quote unquote, officially. But we do know that they are mentioned in some of these documents, that the fullness of these documents, again, as I said earlier, and as Barbara Vince said, they haven't been released. The public doesn't know all the ins and outs of this. I wonder why. It's, and again, they let these people in to the country. The FBI knew exactly who these people were. The intelligence agencies knew exactly who these people were. They let them in. They let them train for the planes. They let them do everything. And it's like, oh, interesting. Oh, well, there you go. That just happened, right? I mean, it's like, what the hell else do you, again, we look back and we see here now, since then, the FBI has been utilizing young Muslim men, and they try to radicalize them and then claim, oh my golly, there's a terrorist cell in every single state in the union. There's like 5 in each state or whatever. And then you realize, oh, it's literally all FBI led and FBI done. And then the FBI nabs the people afterwards. And, oh, look at us. We're so, like, that's been the FBI for the past 20 years, ever since this. So when questions abound as to, why this happened, how did this happen, who is involved, right? Like, questions obviously are being asked, and they should be. You can kind of see where perhaps some people might, speculate some things about how this all came to be and how the attacks were allowed to happen on our intelligence agencies' watch. They're loving and benevolent watch, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Watched it happen.
And again, these people are still held in Guantanamo. I mean, the fact that these people aren't even put to death and have the death penalty for what they did, for planning it, for scheming it, we know that some of these individuals were involved with this. And the fact that these people that were involved that we have in Guantanamo haven't been tried and put to death yet, over 20 years later, this is an outrage, a total outrage.
Right? Very disturbing.
I'm just going to pull up a photograph here. see. Was it this? Oh, it's not gonna make it bigger. Let me see here. Ah, here we go. Here we go. So, questions abound, things, people asking questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'd just like to say again, I mean, when we talk about this subject, and again, it's still the week of those attacks, there's 9/12, which was today, the day afterwards, and so forth. And so people are going to be thinking about this stuff, especially from what the majority of the public knows about the FBI now that's been going on in, almost in your face, but now we're all, kind of waking up to the reality of it. I mean, questions abound, and you ought to ask these questions. I mean, there are questions surrounding, say, the other surrounding buildings as to why they collapsed in on themselves in the way in which they did. There are individuals that have interviews that exist out on the ether of the interwebs that not only point to, but directly say that they believe that certain explosions maybe or maybe not have, blew off, and then said buildings went down. Buildings like the building that many say is building number 7, I was reading in the Discord, Dwight Zombie was talking about that building with the number 7, because we can't necessarily say it directly because it's YouTube, but, beating around the bush here a little bit. You get my drift here, ladies and gentlemen. So these questions ought to be asked. Questions ought to be talked about. These things ought to be looked at because, I mean, we know that bin Laden was a CIA asset in the 80s. He was with the Mujahideen, and the government gave them all money, and they turned into Al-Qaeda.
The Mujahideen?
So, by the way, can I be heard, Koolfrogg, by the way?
You can.
Oh, I can't hear myself. What the heck?
Or can't you hear yourself?
Oh, okay, there we go. Something went wrong with my headphones. Sorry.
Okay.
But so we know a lot of this stuff, and we know, and again, bin Laden said it himself, that he was paid by the CIA and so forth. But that America had intervened in so many things in the Middle East and so forth. And, then he, believes that this is what he, needs to do, and on and on. And then, the plans and schemes and things came around, Saudi Arabian involvement, certain levels of Saudi Arabia. And again, they want to protect the Saudis from any blame, potentially, allegedly, because of course, the United States dollar is based upon Saudi oil trade, rather than our own assets like gold or silver or anything like that. So that's why that is, as well as, other, ties to the Saudi government and the Saudi regime there, the kingdom there, whatever, the royal family of Saudi Arabia. So we have all
Saudi
those.
prince.
Yeah. So we have all of that background. So here's a picture, and again, people talk about, say, Senior Bush with different things that he was there. By the way, again, he's all involved with this New World Order stuff, NWO stuff, of course, allegedly. He's, involved with all of that. His father was involved in all of that, signed the U.S. up for Agenda 21 in Rio de Janeiro in, I think it was the late 80s or something like that, with the UN. So yay. And so the Bushes are these people. Of course, his father worked with, Bush Senior's father worked hand in glove with the Rockefellers and so forth. I mean, you can go on and on with this. And one of the interesting things that I'm going to throw up here
Don't
to
do
share
that.
the screen.
Oh.
Huh?
Phil's comment.
Excuse me.
I love when American jet pilots train the people who killed thousands of Americans, and the CIA is busy tapping Republicans' phones. Just precious.
Well, yeah, I mean, that shows where their priorities are. And again, the response to a terror attack is not to secure the border. It's not to stop mass immigration. It's not to, vet people. It's to continue to let unvetted people come in and to continue to let all these people go rampant over the border through airplane traffic, let's say, for example, or over boats or whatever, however they get here. We just have all this mass immigration and no checks on this and everything like that. But then they'll go after us. They'll create a security state. They'll tap you down in your private parts before you board a plane, but they won't bother to close the border or stop immigration at mass from countries that we know people hate us, and people have an ideology of Islamicism to Islamicize the planet. So of course to go after the infidel that thinks that they're better than Islam. So yeah, definitely shows where the priorities are. That's for sure. For those individuals there in the intelligence communities and the high ups. So here's this photograph that was found in Jeffrey Epstein.
Wrong photograph.
Oh yeah, this photograph was found in Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, it's not a photograph. Pardon me. It's a painting. It's a painting that was found in Jeffrey Epstein's mansion, along with that painting of Bill Clinton with. Wearing a blue dress and red high heels. This was actually found there. I know people see this with Salty Cracker and memes and different things. If you didn't know, this is a legit painting, by the way. A legit painting of George W. Bush. Obviously, it's not a portrait, but it's a painting.
But yeah,
he's not posing
with paper
for this,
airplanes, playing Jenga at the same time.
2 stacks of Jenga towers with 2 planes.
Right.
Allegedly, of course, but you can see the photo.
I put an S on the end of my plane.
Oh. But
Playing with paper airplanes.
Yeah. And again, of course, as we mentioned before, right? Like, all this money left. What was it, the day before? All this money, and it was reported, it was like, where did all this money go from the Pentagon? Where did all this money go from the Pentagon? There was like, what was it? How many billions of dollars just gone? And then this happens. So, yeah, I mean, so a lot of crazy crap with these individuals, ladies and gentlemen. Needless to say, these people that work in line with the World Economic Forum, NWO people, they do not have your best interest at heart, believe it or not. The Department of Homeland Security was not created for you. It was created for you to have a false dichotomy in your mind. Either you have security or you're dead. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to sacrifice my freedom for security. But that's exactly what they wanted you to do. And of course, as Ben Franklin is famous in saying, if you sacrifice your freedom for security, you neither have freedom nor security. So there you go. And that was exactly the intention. And of course, the Patriot Act was passed, and massive police state was created as a result of this. That they were allowed to create as a result of what happened. So if anybody has any questions about the background of this or whatever, and they speculate that certain people in power, I don't know, maybe maybe wanted something like that to happen. You think, because I don't know, maybe it would benefit them and give them more power and more control and more influence in the public. I don't think that's an illegitimate question to ask. I mean, again, like I said, we're on YouTube, so, you can't really directly call anything out because this is all allegedly, of course. But yeah, that's the background there. That's the background with that. And yeah, it's pretty bad, folks. Pretty bad. Pretty freaking bad.
Do you see this? This is a current photo.
Oh yeah, Big Mike with his big hands, big shoulders, that neck. Big Mike's neck is thicker than Obama. Look at that. Look at that.
When you seriously look at this and you look how close, look at this. This is September 12th, 2022. Why is Obama standing in the center?
Because he's the president. Allegedly, of course.
Why is Obama standing in the president's spot in this photo?
I mean, folks, Koolfrogg, this is a fantastic point, isn't it? This is a fantastic point. They're literally screaming at you in your face at this point with this photograph. Obama's the president. Obama is in charge. And he's smiling, laughing at you. They're all smiling, not at the camera. They're smiling because they can't contain themselves from not laughing at you, thinking that you're stupid and that you don't know that Obama is actually the one who's calling the shots. And of course, Obama is the NWO lackey that's there controlling everything behind the scenes because Joe Biden doesn't know where the hell he's at.
I wish I had that footage pulled up for when he actually did
excuse me.
I can't think what I'm talking about right now. This picture just disturbs me so much. When I seen it, I'm like, that's interesting. It's very interesting. It just so happened to be on that day. It was flickering. On that day that this so happened to come up. And it's like, wait a minute here.
Now, who posted this? Because I'm seeing in the chat somebody said that this was taken when they that they have the portrait.
Terrence K. Williams.
Oh, he put it out today. Well, that doesn't mean it's not an official thing from today, I guess. I mean, do we have the video of the portrait release? I mean, not that the date necessarily matters. Yes,
they put Kamala on on the one side. So when this is an official picture, and that's where they decided to stand. Why? Because we know.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's official picture. It's the date, but not that really matters.
It's just disturbing.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. And I just like, again, just to comment once again, I mean, I'm just thinking about it here. When we talk about these subjects like the 9/11 attacks, we have to, and again, I'm going to restate what I said earlier. We have to be classy, folks. We got to be respectful. We have to be classy. We have to, recognize the reality of situations like that. I mean, it's just like with the Queen, right? Queen Elizabeth II and her passing. I saw so many bad comments and remarks from people across the board from our side of the political spectrum about that. And it's like, it's very distasteful. It's disingenuous, a lot of it. To her, it's disingenuous to her, in my view. And it's just very distasteful because there's a bunch of people that saw her as emblematic of their country on the world stage for almost a century. And now she's passed, and a lot of people are saddened by that. And for people to go off and just nonchalantly just start insulting and attacking her and saying all these things. I mean, folks, we can have a debate, but can we let people mourn for those who have passed? I mean, it's just, I mean, and I put out a video on my channel, and I just wanted people to know about what I thought the background of it was, as to why, I thought maybe this had happened now. Of all the times that, this is happening, that she had passed, that she could have passed, it was now. And I gave a little bit of a background of my thoughts behind it, but it was nothing that was meant to insult Queen Elizabeth II. And I mean, like I said, everybody's free. You can have your opinions about her. But like, I mean, and again, I'm going to disagree with you if it's, going to be a bad opinion about her. And my humble, again, I have a very high opinion of her as an individual. But, I'm not against people asking questions or, having their own comments and their own thoughts about her and different things of that nature. But at the very least, like, for God's sake, like, give some people some time to mourn her loss, especially those who were in the country. And there's Alan Walsh here in the chat from Scotland. He says, yeah, it's disgusting shirts. And I mean, yeah, a lot of the insults, especially from the left too. I mean, they were very bad with their insults. But it's a lot of people from our side of the aisle say things like that. And then here comes 9/11 up here several days afterwards. And people have a lot of bad takes. And they're just not giving people time to just look at the day and look at the fallen. And then you can say, okay, now we've recognized the day. Now we've recognized this has happened and it was bad. Now let's talk about why it happened, how we got here, and how we can make things better, as we just did, right? We went over the background of it, what happened, and then we talked about later on, after we gave honor to those who had fallen and who had sacrificed their lives, and to those people who were killed and murdered, and in a mass.
See this?
Yeah, it was horrible.
I just read that Putin is taking the Beast car to UK to ride in, while the other leaders will be riding on buses.
I heard something like that 2 days ago. Yeah, memento mori. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I probably put out a video to that extent. I recorded one. I haven't edited it yet, but I'm going to put out one on my Truth Zealot channel. There. That is allegedly, if I'm not.
I thought I'd seen that you posted a second one for whatever. And did you post something and it not go up?
No, I haven't posted anything else.
Oh.
So, but anyways, just folks, let's be respectful for people. I mean, even in Brazil, the president of Brazil, Bolsonaro, gave 3 days of national mourning for her. And they weren't even a British colony. They don't even speak English. I mean, and that's just the Queen. And then you look at the 9/11 attacks. It's like, people, let's show some class here. Let's be classy. Let's show some class here. Let's show some respect. And then we can talk about the various different things after we've given the day of respect for these people, So anyways, now that we've talked about that, I guess we can move on to other things, right? Move on to whatever else we have in store. It was a little under an hour, I guess, but it's done.
I don't know where you even want to go.
Where are we even right now, dude?
Right?
What is today?
Border Patrol agents, terrorist crossings into the U.S. Terrorists are crossing into the U.S. through the southern border. Really? You don't think that we don't already know this?
Seems like retread ground. That's what a lot of politics is today. Just retread ground.
Yeah, check this out. Don't forget, this is New York Post. Ex-Border Patrol chief warns of terrorists crossing into U.S. through southern border. This is dated from August 17th. Why is this from August 2021? They were trying to retell us something for some reason. You know why? You know why that showed up so close to today? Because everybody was like, oh, hey, don't forget, this is what actually brings people in to this country. You'd just be amazed, but who comes in across that border? I'm going to stop sharing that. I was pulling up news articles from the.
So how about we lighten the mood a little bit with I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to do occasional cortex, or do you want to do Mr. Potato Head? I think. What?
What the hell?
Jeez. That was a brutal food attack, food and water attack right there.
Why is it? It's in the brand thing. Why is it stopping at it? Okay, so we'll start it over.
Rough.
Oh man. Think something like that? Lighten the mood a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh man. I seen that today. I'm like, that's fun. That'll be fun to actually play after a low point. Which cheering everybody up just a little bit. Sparkles like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan, I totally agree with your comments there.
I just see a bunch of fun articles that come up over the weekend because we didn't do news all weekend. Go ahead. Yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, let's do like Mr. Potato Head or occasional cortex. And by Mr. Potato Head, I mean Welter Stelter.
Sure.
Formerly a CNN janitor, allegedly a journalist.
Hold that one up if you want.
Of course, the janitor, occasionally went after the employees' children, allegedly. But he also tried to wear clown shoes and hand lollipops to them, which is kind of weird. But anyway,
this guy. Disgraced former CNN anchor Brian Stelter gets hired by Harvard.
After he gets laid off from CNN.
Do you remember why he get laid off from CNN?
Because they're cleaning house from, crazed
Cuomo's gang.
libtards. I mean, not to say that they won't be replaced with libtards, but
mold them into being.
I see what you did there, Debbie. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Nice. She made a pun. I had to frickin'. She said, "I like that drawing, Jimmy."
Ha ha
ha.
God,
that's my kind of humor. Dry as a popcorn fart.
That sounds fun.
Pam Graham. I mean, that's probably one of the only things that he's pretty good at. Is cleaning toilets. How he does that, I don't know, but we won't ask him. But we'll just leave that. We'll just leave the toilet cleaning to Stelter. But his teeth are kind of rotted for a reason. Anyway, let's kind of because he wants you to eat shit too. Let's go.
Full sense.
Former CNN host Brian Stelter, who was fired from the show, reliable sources. Brian Stelter in August has just been hired by Harvard as the Walter Shorstein Fellow. Stelter will convene a series of discussions that threats to democracy and the range of potential responses from the news media. I can't believe they're actually doing this with this guy. Look at this. 6.4% of Harvard graduates lean conservative, and they're going to bring this guy in there.
Yeah, it's to kill off the rest of the population there, allegedly. Of course.
They love that, don't they, Bill?
I mean, the world really has just too many people. Really need to lower that number quite a bit.
That guy is just generally unlikable.
They dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop affair as pure Russian disinformation.
Isn't that a nice little napkin they can throw over a mistake they make?
Yeah, usually
right.
it's just a cover of sorts.
It's just like, oh, whoopsie. Oopsie. Oops. Oopsie daisy.
Oh, but don't listen to what I just said. We'll just put this, put this over the top of it.
Same thing with the Nazi and the white supremacy, or Yahtzee and the white supremacy thing.
Alan, what's your excitement, Shirts?
My excitement.
Shirts is excitable.
You sounded very excited there for a second.
Oh, it was because it was a Yahtzee comment, but it wasn't Yahtzee. It was the other. I don't want to for a split second.
I don't know what you mean.
Honestly, I don't remember either. I just.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous. Stelter.
Oh yeah, Brian Stelter has a wife, allegedly. She's totally not a prisoner in his home, but whatever.
Bang that chick.
I mean, do potatoes have the capacity to do that? I don't know.
I just don't see this being a good thing. I really don't.
I thought they bred like other plant life.
So yeah, he goes to freaking Harvard to teach students about democracy and the threats to our democracy. So he's gonna Welter Stelter Smelter here is gonna be going to Harvard and teaching all of these libtardy kids that are already libtards anyway to be more libtardy. So don't send your kids to college, folks, because they'll turn into giant libtard freakazoids with flaming blue hair and purple hair. And yes, the men will too. The young men will too. So, just to watch out.
I had blue hair.
And then, of course,
we can't be friends anymore.
Just to kind of move around a little bit with the content, so you're like, somebody goes up and shows how circusy we can be. Look at that. Hillary Clinton compares Nancy Pelosi to Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, how do you feel about that one, Shirts?
Calls her the gutsiest woman in politics.
Well, she's my gut is full of vodka, so as far as that goes, it's the gutsiest woman ever to the politics is definitely nice. It's definitely nice.
Okay, Hillary, take my money.
I got it's full of podcasts. It says yes, it's also basing exercises in case over this. Bernie doesn't like hearings. Messi loves hearings. Bernie doesn't like hearings. And not just Messi doesn't like hearings. Bernie loves hearings. It's the basing exercises.
Do I need to call somebody for this?
You can see the similarities between her and Queen Elizabeth II. There, it's pretty almost no difference, right? Let me see here.
There's a couple interesting articles. I'm having issues with my back, like rested wrong, and just that's why my camera's not on tonight, folks.
Oi.
So, just because I'm slouched a little bit, I have to actually get some more rest. Try straightening that out. We had quite a few different articles. I'm just trying to. I didn't like the order that I had them in. Pull one of those articles up, AmericaShirts. It was.
1 second. I'm gonna pull up. Where did this go? Hold on a second. Let's see here.
We'll see if I found the one that I was thinking of.
Where did this go?
I'll wait until after you do yours.
Where the freak did this fly off to? Do. What? Where did it? No, I don't want that. No. Sorry, I'm talking to my computer.
Boomer.
Everybody talks to their computer, don't they? Right? Everybody talks to their computer.
Right?
Yeah, very normal.
It is. It's very normal. Don't feel bad, ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking to your computer that doesn't want to pull up the little, video clip that you want. Here we go. Pull it up here. All right, because you're talking about Nancy, right? Nancy Pelosi, and she's very drunk, and she's very gutsy because of all the vodka in her gut, so. And yes, this eyeball has a lot of details. Did I spy with my little eye something that is like a line across the front? It's like making it look like it's glaring.
There's a weird shadow off that side.
This little thing here?
That was intended. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's stabbed in the eye.
Nah, it's supposed to be a little shine on the eye there. But
well, I shan't want to be stabbed in the eye. I would not. I appreciate that. That was bad. I have the little clip. So, by the way, the funny one, right? Everybody remembers the gutsiest woman, just like
Lord.
Queen Elizabeth, right?
See it in its aggregate and make some.
Any concerns that any of this is quote messaging because that they have to
Oh my
take
God, I'm
some of those
horrified.
things out regardless, no matter what you send over? You said you weren't
The water's
going to
not
send
gonna
a
help
messaging bill.
No, we're not saying messaging bill, but we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub.
She really is that bad. She's fucking
Exercises
drunk.
we're engaged, bathing exercises we're engaged in, and we're getting good response. There's no bad answer. It is what it is. There's certain objects.
The gutsiest woman to have ever been in politics. Almost as good as the Queen of England. Well, actually, no, she's better than the Queen of England, according to the Goblin Queen herself, Hillary Rodham Clinton. I guess Hillary does know something about being the Queen, being the Goblin Queen of America. So queen of all the goblin creatures in DC in the swamp. So anyway,
Ingratiating goblins.
yes, right. We don't want to be ingratiating goblins here. Definitely don't want to ingratiate those goblins or get in bed with a goblin. That would be really bad.
Bed with the goblin.
Let me pull up this AOC thing as well, because everybody's just we have so many smart people, so many smart people in politics. Hillary Witch Queen Clinton would be so proud.
Oops. And here you go.
Is AOC right, says this article from Fox News, is AOC right that too many Americans, quote, hate women for a female presidency? New Yorkers apparently weigh in on this. New Yorkers sounded off on Representative Occasional Cortex's recent comments, saying that so many people in this country hate women during a conversation about whether she believed she could become president. Right? So Nancy Pelosi is better than the Queen of England, and and AOC is deserving of the presidency, because that's how this works. I look at her as a very strong personality, and I think that she would be a strong contender for the presidency. A New Yorker, yugged up, whatever the hell, I don't know. Told Fox News, whoever the hell this person is, it's just sad that she still thinks that like it's 2022. Another New Yorker disagreed. I see your point. Yeah, right, like you do. Occasional Cortex's name has been repeatedly floated as a potential Democratic candidate in 2024 presidential election. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It'll probably be, the Goblin Queen herself, Hillary Clinton, will probably try and make a comeback again. She's floating around. As a matter of fact, she's floating herself around many different areas in the media now. So I would expect her to be their nominee again. Which is going to be horrendous, but they're probably going to try to push it again. She says one is just the relentless belief that anything is possible. Occasional Cortex told GQ, but at the same time, my experience here has given me a front row seat into how deeply and unconsciously, as well as consciously, so many people in this country hate women. And they hate women of color.
Supposedly.
Yeah, you racist.
That's what they're saying about the majority of us that are, quote unquote, that they're calling white people. It's really disturbing.
People ask me questions about the future, and realistically, I can't even tell you what I'm going to be. I mean, listen to this. And realistically, she says, I can't even tell you if I'm going to be alive in September, and that weighs very heavily on me. Like, what the hell? She's still going with this narrative that, like, all these people hate her, right? Because that's the narrative, right? Here, published September the 12th here. Of course, she gave these comments a couple of days ago. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna die. Oh, people are gonna kill me because Jan 6th. And by the way, folks, all the libtards on Twitter are trying to compare January the 6th of 2021 to the 9/11 attacks, because that's just how great and classy and respectful and good those people are. Because they're really, nice, good people that you want in office. She says, I think Americans would definitely elect the right woman for president. Absolutely. Somebody said, and they said that they would vote for Occasional Cortex, which makes me believe that your Cortex is occasionally functioning as well. Somebody says, I mean, obviously I would vote for her, but I feel like I don't have faith in other Americans, one woman said. I mean, who the hell are these people? Oh, they're random libtards in New York. Other people told Fox News it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's random libtards. So yeah, AOC is flapping around and screaming how she's going to be killed again, and men hate her, and everything else. And it's
because they walked around the streets of New York to get these comments. How many of different people do you think they ran into that had a different opinion on a lot of this? And
right.
They're not actually publishing that. They're just going to publish this because this is what's, political newspaper.
Right. But hey, I mean, hey, who wouldn't vote? Who wouldn't vote for, the Democrats, right? I mean, who wouldn't vote for somebody like that? Because we're all just sexist as hell, and it's totally not because we hate the Democrat Party as an institution for all of its corruption that it's done and everything else. And of course, the establishment writ large in DC, right?
When the other guy was president, I was so angry all the time. He literally forced me to pay $2 a gallon for gas. Now that Joe Biden's president, I can finally pay what gas is worth. $5 a gallon. Back in 2020, the other guy made me spend $3 for a 2x4. But now that Joe Biden's president, I'm happily paying $7 for a 2x4. Oh, me and Monica are gonna build the most expensive house in the world. Last year, the other guy forced me to work 40 hours a week. I was miserable. But now that Joe Biden's president, I get free money every month so I can watch TV and sleep on the couch all day. I'm never going back to work. We have a president who's exposed
Smirnoff.
old, powerful white people who were born into privilege. When the other guy was president, I thought for sure I'd be going to jail. But now that Joe Biden is president, I've been staying at the Standard every weekend. More pasta and hot dogs, please. We were terrified about losing our business when the other guy was president. But now that Joe Biden is president, we're not afraid anymore. It's business as usual. When the other guy was president, I would have to smoke Parmesan cheese to get high. But now that my dad is president, I'm smoking the real stuff. Now that Joe Biden is president, I don't have to delete my emails anymore. And the other guy can't put me in jail. Victory is mine. I was so nervous when the other guy was president. I was convinced I was going to go to prison for my spy girlfriend. I got so nervous I would even fart on live TV. But now that Joe Biden is president, me and my spy girlfriend are finally getting married. Ever since that racist madman, dick, sexist pig, corrupt motherfucker left the White House, I haven't heard our new president, Joe Biden, say Obamagate one time. Yeah, Joe is doing a great job. You see, America is turning out to be a pretty cool place. And it's all because of Democrats. Join us today.
Oh, that is the United Spot. If you're not subscribed, you have something very wrong with you. You should definitely go and subscribe to them or get your head checked out. Because you might be a Democrat. Anywho. Ooh. Do I spy with mine little eye in comparison to that large eye that the eye is done?
Yeah, that's about done. It's like a reptilian thingy.
Lizard peoples. Lizard peoples.
The Anunnaki.
Oh, anywho's. Let me see here. What else did Koolfrogg throw around here? There's those. Da, 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 da. Oh, that one was posted twice. I thought I saw it fine. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have?
Oh,
how about this? He's got an article. Okay.
Well, y'all, it's pretty past my bedtime, so now that my eyeball is done, I bid you adieu.
Here we go. That's awesome.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure with Jimmy.
I boomered
Eyeball
into
and
that.
all.
I started reading, and I had my microphone.
Oh,
on.
you hit your mic, Church? Oh no.
Good stuff,
I was
Frogman.
wondering, like, what?
But yeah, so then it says the View settles with the Rittenhouses for $22 million and a formal apology. The View will compose a written apology of Kyle Rittenhouse and his mother and deliver them along with a check of $22 million.
$1 million.
Apparently, the show's producers have been eager to settle the matter and get them away from all the bad press. In the past months, story after story about Whoopi Goldberg's suspensions and firings, along with reports of more than 11 lawsuits filed, have the show's team wondering if it was worth it at all. According to our record, the bulk of the attacks against The View came from the sites pretending to be right-wing propaganda. Really? Pretending?
Oh my God. I mean, freaking Rittenhouse is going to be so filthy freaking
Thank you,
rich
Jimmy.
after all these lawsuits.
Yeah,
it's going to be beautiful.
Let's see if we can't show that one more time. There you go.
Oh, sure.
Everybody check that
guy
out.
over
That's
here.
Jimmy YouTube.
Yeah, that's me. All right. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks very much for the invite. Always happy to come on and chit chat for a little bit. You guys are great.
Oh, Robin says she loves your eyes. I mean, something else anyway.
Something like that. Hey, all right, you guys. Good night, JMK. Good night, Ishcade. Good night, Sparkles. Good night, Debbie. Good night, Susie. Good night, Phil. Good night, Memento. Goodness gracious, you got a line up here. I get to say goodbye to so many people.
There's 32 people currently watching us.
Good night, Aaron. Good night, John Boy. Good night.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Yes, good night, Mary Ellen.
All right, good night, Sparkles. Good night, Black Sheepdog.
Night,
Good
Jim
night,
Bob.
good night, Pam Graham. Good night. Oh wait, I already said good night, Memento. Let's see who else said good night to me. Good night, Phil. You said good night to me twice, Phil. What are you doing? I see you. You sneaky snake. Oh no, you said very cool, Jimmy. Never mind. You're good. You're good. Okay. Good night, guys.
Later.
Hey, get the hell out of here, you Walton freak. God, I can't stand this freaking TV. I'm just kidding.
All right, no high five for you, and I won't say good night.
He's like, I don't know how to actually click the button.
I can to watch.
Oh.
Whoa.
Hello.
Whoa.
Hello.
It's AmericaShirts.
Look at me. I know.
We should do a spot where we just put the AmericaShirts up
well, yeah.
and let you rant for 20 minutes. Wherever you're ready. Let's see. What else can we do? I'm just going to start closing some of these tabs until I find the stories that I want. High Court block recognition of LGBTQ campus in Yeshiva U. I mean, it was a very short article. I'm wounded. So everybody that cares about the wounded, ouch.
Oh.
Back is sore.
Wounded.
You have to buy me a coffee so I can get myself something to stretch my back out with.
He can buy a professional chiropractor and he'll video record himself as he like cracks his back 800 different ways. Like,
No, we're not doing that.
it's like I'm not doing that. I mean, but what if they gave you money to do this? Like, what if this is like a fundraiser for you, and like everybody wants to see Koolfrogg's back be cracked and twisted in like 1,000 different ways by this.
Susie says,
by this
I
professional
had a
chiropractor.
finger of booze last night. Some whiskey that was too strong for me. Oh, those are the worst. When you get one that you just like can't take, you're just like, that's too much, whatever, too much peat, too much something in it, whatever, to actually get you into like more of a scotch or whatever. Some of those get really strong, and yes, very hard to take. You take one shot and you're just like, poof, gone, because they're so good. Ten-day fast. Interesting. Water, tea, and coffee for 10 days.
Ooh.
Oof.
Are you doing that for like health reasons or whatever? I don't know. And like health reasons? Is there like a religious reason? I don't know. Pam Graham, chiropractors kill me. Oh.
No, I ain't doing no chiropractor. It'll work itself out.
Rittenhouse
okay.
and Dandman should buy CNN. She meant Sandman.
Majority,
oh, look!
The majority believe it's time to impeach Joe Biden.
Turns out, folks, we're the majority. Can you believe it? MAGA is the majority. And then, of course, even a portion of Democrats. You know?
According to the new Rasmussen's report survey, Republican and independent voters overwhelmingly agree that Biden should be impeached, along with a third of Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh wow. 30%. Wow.
32% of a.
You might almost think that there's so many people that are against what this guy's doing and everything is about, that they actually do impeach him.
And look at this. Look at the numbers here, right?
Hope.
Yeah.
You better hope. But at the same time that they take out the rest of the administration, right? Straight with it.
Oh, yeah.
Go. Impeach the potato.
Indeed. And look at the numbers here. 77% of Republicans, 77% of the Republican Party, which there's going to be more of that, I believe. And then, of course, you have 50% of independents and 32% of Democrats would like to see the current president get booted from his position, otherwise known as impeached and removed from office. That's a pretty clear indication of where we're going here. So hopefully we get this ball rolling now, like I've been talking about forever in a day. We get this ball rolling for impeachment, and we get this impeachment done. And we get this impeachment started now, and then we get this impeachment through and get these things going. And again, as you said, not just Mr. Potato here, but we got to get Kamala Harris and all the rest of them. To hell with them. Impeach them all. They are violating our country. Again, border security is national security. Infrastructure security is national security. Electric grid security is national security. Food security is national security. And then, of course, the national security implications of Joe Biden himself and Hunter Biden with the Chinese. Impeach Joe Biden right freaking now. And then, of course, he comes out in public speech and tells everybody that if you don't align with him and his party, that you are an enemy of the state. So if that wasn't enough to impeach Joe Biden right there as well, I don't know what the hell.
However, less than half the voters believe the Republicans will actually take action to impeach Biden. So, though it's as high as it is on the Rasmussen, they're like, however, though, it's really only this for the Republicans. Less than half is 77%? Really? Are you sure?
No. It's saying that they believe that they will take action. They want him removed, but they don't believe that Republicans will take the action necessary. Less than half of voters believe that the Republican Party won't take the action to impeach Joe Biden.
It's too bad, because you'd think that their own argument, give every person a vote, would actually all be larger than that, and actually take that out. Remove Joe Biden. We need to remove him immediately. The support for impeaching Biden is highest among voters, 40 to 64, who are also most likely to think that if Republicans win in the midterms, they actually will impeach the president. Retirees are least supportive for impeaching Biden. Just the retirees. So anybody over the age of 65, they're counting that. They're actually looking at it closer. How many people? Really? 47%? Believe that the GOP will actually do that? You'd think it would be larger. You'd think that there'd be a lot more people that would actually be upset about the situation. And be like, no. But of course, every paper, comes from its own source. So then you have to think about who's putting what up.
Okay,
The new laws going into effect in Illinois in January. Yeah, there's that one's up there. We can do that one. I'm having issues with my back. Oh my Lord. I think we're gonna have to end the show soon.
Oh, we're almost at 2 hours anyway.
We are. So then, all right, let's see here. Kind of did that one. Student loan handouts, gun control, and upcoming midterms. I really need to start paying attention to a lot of different things in your own personal economies and actually realize what you're actually voting for, what is on your ballot, why it's on your ballot, and why you think you should vote for or against different things. And if they wrap, abortion, gun control, and student loan debt all into one, it's really sad. That's what it comes down to is how you feel about these three issues. And
later, Alan
one
Walsh.
of the two sides.
I just saw the same later to him, so I don't know if he's still there.
Try backwards. I remember doing that when I was a kid. I don't should do that. I'd be afraid that I'd hurt something. Just saying.
You ever hear of acupuncture therapy?
Oh my Lord. Yes. I'd seen it, watched some of it, and thought that would be fun. Then thought about it again and be like, I don't know if it really would. So, and there's some. freaking hurts, dude.
We can go into. Oh, did you already? Is this the article? No, this one's not the article I put up. The conservative opinion. Republicans preparing to impeach Biden after the midterms.
No, we just went over.
Well, but this is saying that they're preparing to do that, not the poll.
Why is the poll? Why am I? Oh, Lord. All of my links are all mixed up. Yeah.
So, it says Republicans preparing to impeach Biden after the midterms. Let's see here. Several regular Republicans in the current Congress have filed articles of impeachment against the president. The news organization reported on Tuesday, to paraphrase, they have accused Biden of committing high crimes in response to a range of topics, including border enforcement, the Koof, outing, breaking, and the withdrawal of U.S. soldiers from Afghanistan. Let me see. When was this? Give me a date. This was written. I don't see a bloody date. Oh, anyway, it was here recently, I guess. Let me see. Since his inauguration, the Hill reported that at least 8 resolutions to impeach Biden have been offered. Oh, wow. I didn't even know it was 8. Which 3 are related to his handling of the migrant surge at the southern border, illegal immigrants, and also 3 targeting his management of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan last year. 1 denouncing the eviction moratorium intended to help renters during the Koof. Representative Bob Good, Republican from Virginia, is on record saying Biden should be impeached for purposefully opening our border and making Americans less safe, as reported by The Hill. The new Republican majority in Congress should be ready to conduct vigorous oversight as soon as they take office, since Congress has a duty to hold the president accountable for this and other failings of his constitutional responsibilities. Impeachment proceedings against Biden have been spearheaded by Georgia Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Congresswoman's spokesperson, Nick Dyer, said that also she feels that President Biden should have been impeached as soon as he was sworn in. So, of course, she wants it to happen as soon as humanly possible. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy led the charge, but it was ultimately killed by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Wait, I skipped something. It was pointed out that conservatives' current ambitions to impeach Biden are identical to the leftists, the Democrats, in 2018, during the midterms, when the Democrats were still in opposition and would soon take control of the House in 2019. Well, actually, we have a legitimate reason to do that. It's called saving the country. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy led the charge, but it was ultimately killed by Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, a U.S. Army soldier, claimed that the then President Donald Trump had inappropriately threatened to cut off military aid to Ukraine unless its president, Volodymyr Zelensky, agreed to launch an investigation into the allegations of corruption within the Biden family. Untrue. Democrats impeached him for the first time since his inauguration. The Hill reports that at least 8 resolutions to have been impeached offered Joe Biden. These resolutions won't carry over into the next Congress. Thus, fresh versions will need to be introduced in January of 2023. Yep.
Later, Robin.
So here we are at 2 hours exactly. I ended the article exactly as 2 hours came across. I have such great timing. Isn't that awesome?
Nice.
Yep. Later, Robin there. Robin Cheyenne. Catch you later. And with that, I guess, as the great Jimmy YouTube said here previously, perhaps we should bid you all adieu.
Yes, let's do that.
Yep. So
everybody should make sure that you check out AmericaShirts.com.
That is, of course, AmericaShirts.com. Only the most base shirts on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. You can get a discount code from here, actually, from this particular show. It is the discount code Koolfrogg, and you can save 50% on anything in that awesomely based, awesomely sweet and amazing shirt store. Go there and check it out. I still have the FBI. Abolish the FBI because it should be abolished.
Good night,
still
Pam Graham.
So totally go there. Grab yourself a shirt and make this happen, ladies and gentlemen. And spread the word about it. I also, of course, am on the Rumbles here as well, ladies and gentlemen.
I did see there's quite a few people that had suggestions. Thank you for all the suggestions on what could help me fix my back for the night. I think the best one would be to go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg.
Oh, of course.
Put some extra paper under the one side of the cheek and just let it just relax and watch the back fix itself. That one.
That seems like a perfectly good solution to me. Here, I'm going to post my Rumble over here. Let me see in the chat here.
Nice.
My Rumble people, check it out. Oops.
Everybody check out those locals pages. Check out those Rumble pages. I'm sorry that I've been delaying on the locals. I've been messing with some of the connections to see what I can actually do to do something different. Have some fun with it to see if what people are thinking. It's only given me a half hour for airtime, so at this moment, trying to figure out what would be best. If I should do shorter clips and set them out, let them, and just record them and put them up, or if I should try to do it live. If you'd all still watch and check it out, I don't know. We'll see. It's coming. I'm working. I got a lot on my plate, so. Again,
He's working here, huh? Come on.
Buy Me a Coffee does not work, hit up the PayPal link. All right. Say goodnight.
Check out my Rumble there in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. My new channel there. Check it out. Got videos posted. Later, peeps.
Right? Later.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.